I think that's something that actually unifies us as a team. You know, when you come to BYU, it's way different than when you go play at another university.
It is.
You're playing for a church school. You're playing for God. You're playing for your family, and everyone really embraces that. Whether our quarterback is Jewish, whether you're Muslim, there's Muslims on our team. You're playing for something higher and something holier.
Hello, my name is Mike Lacey, and we're here from Beyond the Game, and it's really fun. In fact, recently I was just cheering for this guy. He doesn't know how loud I was, but I was maybe half of the audience at that Colorado game, the Alamo Bowl. But we have Raider Damuni here with us, a safety and a star player for BYU. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I love that name, Raider. How'd your parents name you Raider?
Yeah, so the stories that they told me is when I was younger, or when I was born, they didn't really know what they were gonna name me, and my dad, having a history, he graduated from Cougar High School in Hawaii.
That's a big football,
big football
factory.
School, big factory, and he's a big Cougar Red Raider fan, and so. That's not necessarily the reason. The main reason why is because my grandpa was actually in the room and there was a Raid can, the insect.
You were kidding.
The insect.
I thought you were the Oakland Raiders, you know.
I wish. But he brought that idea up, and then once that idea came up, my dad was like, Raider. Let's name him Raider. And ever since that,
And your mom went with it.
My mom went with it. She was fine with it, and so.
That's a good name, especially for the way you play football. I brought it up initially, but seriously, that football game, and here we are late January or mid-January. The Alamo Bowl was several weeks ago. You guys were dominant. And I remember standing up at a very exciting time because Raider Damuni had just done something really exciting. Refresh my memory. What was I cheering for you? What had you done?
I think it was Raider Damuni's first career sack ever in his whole life of football.
No way.
Yeah. So.
I'm glad because seriously, it felt like it was a big part of the game, big point in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a strong safety,
Strong
right?
safety,
Strong
yes.
safety. And obviously now with this defense, we've got guys coming from all over the place. Tell me about that play?
Yeah, it was honestly all credit to our defensive coordinator. That whole week we were practicing that specific blitz play to where the DN, Tyler Batty, is going to go outside and I'm going to slip inside into the B gap on that. And so...
Do you have to hang back like 10 yards off the line of
scrimmage
so the quarterback doesn't...
Yeah, a little bit, especially depending on the formation. It's a little bit harder to disguise sometimes. And in that specific formation, it was a little bit harder. So I kind of stayed back a little bit and then tried to time it right when he was going to snap the ball. And so once he snaps the ball, I give it a little time and then I just rush straight up the B gap. And they
Tell us about the B gap.
It was wide
What's
open.
the B gap? Is that between the center and the guard?
Yeah, so it's the center and the guard is the A gap. And then the guard and the tackle is the B gap.
Perfect.
So from that gap is where I'm assigned to go and blitz in.
Back in my day, we had numbers. But that's awesome.
Yep.
All right, so Tyler Batty goes outside.
And then I just go right inside of him in that B gap. And then it opens up. They're not really expecting a safety to come blitz, and so we caught him at the perfect time.
That is so sweet. And it was. I mean, refresh my memory. I really don't remember this. Why was that point? Do you remember that point in the game, the score or the setting?
I think we had just thrown an interception. We were driving down the field and we had a turnover. And so that was a crucial time for our defense to get a stop and get our offense back on the field. And so I believe the score at that time was like 10-0 or at the time, yeah.
But yeah, an interception, all of a sudden it's a new game.
It is, yeah.
You're ahead 10-zip. But bless their hearts, the offense did have a good game, but we turned it over some.
Yeah.
And what I was so impressed with was our defense, and you guys bringing it right back to the offense. You guys were, so you had a lot of prep time. Now, back in my day, there were some times where we used the bowl game time as not fully, we were fully engaged, ready for the games, but we were also enjoying the time in San Diego at the Holiday Bowl and things like that. You guys looked like you had an urgency and a mission to win that game. So was that your first bowl game you've ever been to?
Yeah.
I mean, played in?
Played in, yeah. This is my first bowl game that I played in.
And what did you feel? Was the team just fully focused on the game, or did you enjoy San Antonio at the same time?
Oh yeah, I think it was a little bit of both. Our coaches told us before going into that game, like, the team who wants to be here the most, the team who embraces the bowl game experience the most, is a team that's going to win. And so everything that we did when it came to activities, like going to SeaWorld or the river rally, we went 100%. We went all out with everything. And so I think that definitely carried into the game, the energy that we brought, because we even had practices out there. And the practice
at the stadium?
We had a walkthrough at the stadium, and then the day before that, we had practice at a high school.
Okay.
And so we really embraced those moments. If we're at practice, 100% we're going to give it at practice. If we're at the river rally, we're going to jump and dance around with the fans. We're going to get crazy. And then if we're at SeaWorld, we're going to embrace that experience as well. And so I think that made a huge difference and a huge impact on the way we played in the game, because when we got to the game, we were super excited to play. We wanted to embrace the experience. I know it was hard. It was easy to kind of get down on ourselves with the what ifs. We could have been in the playoffs if we win a couple more games.
We'll go there, Raider. I want to visit with you about that, but let's stay on this Colorado game, the Alamo Bowl experience, since we're there. I want to talk about the what ifs, because you guys were there. You had one of the best teams. Somehow you and your teammates, your coaching staff, you brought it together this year when nobody was expecting you to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The media, a lot of the fans, our perception before the season was, we hope to have a 500 season. This is a tough league you're in.
Yep, it is.
So back on the bowl, one of the things I've noticed, having season tickets and going to the games, that the little bit of time between the third and the fourth quarter, to me, is electric at the stadium. And as a fan, now I'm torn, because I had coaches at BYU and in my high school where, hey, Lacey, you've got to chew on glass and eat nails to be a good football player, And other times where, hey, you can be a good guy between the downs, help your guy up, and be a good sport, love the game, love people. And so I was kind of more on the, I want to be a good guy, but in between, during the down, I'm gonna bring it to you.
Yep.
And if you knock me down, good on you. And if I knock you down, man, I'm happy.
Yep.
So one of the things I've noticed in between the third and the fourth quarter is that electric energy. You know what I mean? And sometimes the chew on glass kind of coach will look at your team, and a lot of you guys are dancing and engaged. And part of me says, hey, they're not getting ready for the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
But part of me is saying, these guys are confident. They know what's going on. So tell me what your feeling is, first between the third and fourth quarter at home games, and then when you're fully engaged, dancing and stuff like that with the fans, being 100% of practice and being 100% with the activities.
Yep.
What's your feeling?
Exactly what you said, like just having fun with it. Like when you talked about being a nice guy at the end of the whistle or at the end of the play, but bringing it to them during the play, that's kind of the energy that we try to live by and try to go by. Coach Kalani always preaches it to us. And so during those moments of the third and the fourth quarter, that's our opportunity to get get excited, to get confident, and it helps us really play in the game. And I think by us doing
I
that,
see that.
by us doing that and embracing that part of the game, it gives us confidence and it helps us relax a little bit when we go out in that fourth quarter, because the fourth quarter is important. And so, yeah, it just helps us stay smooth, stay focused, and yeah.
I love it. And then the Colorado game, same thing. When I don't know, they were trying to accommodate both teams, and so they had, what's the name of that song? When Cosmo's pounding on the drums,
The Turbulence.
Yeah. I don't know why. Here I am, an old dude, but that still gets me revved up. That's exciting.
Yep.
So they played that Turbulence at the Alamo Bowl game, and I looked down at you guys, and you guys were rocking with the fans and getting ready. I mean, you had the game pretty well in hand, but it's fun to see you guys loving what you do.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what it feels like. You committed to BYU when you were in 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
How did you and how did BYU know that Raider Damuni, I mean, yeah, your dad played for the school, but you must love it.
Oh, yeah.
Or is sometimes it like a job?
Football?
Yeah.
I love football. I love, like I mentioned earlier to before, I love all sports. I love football, basketball, and so this is something that I always envisioned myself doing, and it's been a blessing.
Sweet. What'd you do in basketball?
I played like point guard, shooting guard
At Timview?
I played 2 years at Timview, and then my senior year I graduated early to go on my mission in December, and so I played in high school as well.
Good. And Timview has a good program in all of those, but especially football. Played in some championships.
Yeah.
And what positions did you play in high school?
In high school, I played a little bit of everything. I played corner, receiver. I also played safety my senior year, free safety, and then I also played quarterback, and I was the punter. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Who taught you to punt? You just picked it up.
Just picked it up. We had in high school, we had like a rugby style punt, and so every time I rolled out, I had the option to run if it was there, and so there was a couple times where I got to run in high school as well with the punter, and they gave me that option. So
that's cool. So you were a rugby style,
end
over end.
That's how we punted in high school.
Okay.
Yep.
That's interesting. Lee Johnson at BYU from the administration.
Yes.
All right. And Lee was a wonderful punter for us, but he put up those sweet spirals that hung up forever. What are the pros and cons of the Lee Johnson, the old style, spiral punt that goes up versus the end over end?
I think you just get it out quicker.
On the rugby?
The other one.
Oh, okay.
Just the traditional style of punting,
Right.
and you get a lot of hang time off of that, which allows your team to go down the field and get them. But with the rugby style, it also does the same thing. When you're rolling out, that's time ticking.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
If you're a right-footed kicker, they're rolling to the right.
Yeah, and so that gives you the players time to go down the field, plus they kick the ball. And
sometimes you can hit more of a deep, less high punt, but that will go over their heads.
Yeah.
Because if they're not ready.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get some powerful kicks from those rugby styles.
Yep, exactly.
Somebody told me, one of the guys here that had played in the NFL, maybe it was Lee Johnson, said that the rugby style doesn't work in the NFL. Something about the release time that
They're coming fast,
Yeah.
probably. That's why, yeah.
All right, let's get back on Raider Damuni. We talked about the bowl game. The enthusiasm of the team, the contrast between the rough and tumble mean guy that's always angry versus Kalani's style of, tell me, what does he say about love?
Love and learn.
Love and learn.
Yep. So you love everyone, and then you learn from experiences that come.
Having been a player for Coach Edwards and Kalani are so parallel. They're so alike in so many things. But in my and Lavelle was the same kind of guy. He wasn't the, you have to spit on your opponent or whatever kind of player or coach. But he didn't emphasize the love part of that Kalani is doing. And what's interesting to me, what I'd like you to share is some people, we fans, so fans get on these social media applications and, this is dangerous because they're not taking it serious.
Mm-hmm.
They're not taking it serious, meaning, the team has to always be serious. Mm-hmm. And Kalani has fought through the perception. Coach Kalani, the staff, you players, have fought through that perception, I think, are making great headway in this team is prepared. This team wants it. So how – I know there are different personalities on the football field. Tell me, Raider, in your young experience with the team, there are a lot of different kind of guys. Does everyone respond to the love and learn principle or is everybody getting unified in that?
Yeah, I think that's something that actually unifies us as a team. When you come to BYU, you're playing. It's way different than when you go play at another university.
It is.
You're playing for a church school. You're playing for God. You're playing for your family, and everyone really embraces that. Whether our quarterback is Jewish, whether you're a Muslim, there's Muslims on our team. You're playing for something higher and something holier, and so I think everyone that comes to BYU embraces that, and Coach Kalani just helps us to embrace that and helps us to grow in our faith. And that's
whatever
that faith is. And I believe that while we embrace that and the way we embrace that this year is a huge reason why we were successful. And we're not where we want to be, but we're definitely making the strides and the steps that we need to take to progress and to move forward.
I tell you, as a fan, Raider, I look back. We can all say what if, but I'll look back at that Kansas game. And even in the Kansas game, where – and it had so many parallels to a game we lost in one of my years where it was the only game we lost. There was a punt that knocked off one of our guys and they recovered it for a touchdown. We doubled them in yardage,
Yeah.
But Indiana still beat us in 1979 and it was our only loss. And so we look back and, dang, that was a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we learned from that. Love and learn. We look back on that Kansas game. You guys, the offense was even at the end of the game going downfield, and it looked like, oh, yeah, we're going to pull it out again.
Yep.
What was the feeling for you guys? Because we were all so excited about being undefeated. Tell me, we can all go what if, but we learned from it. What's your feeling now about that Kansas game and where it takes you going forward?
Man, the thing that hurt the most is knowing that we beat ourselves defensively, every aspect of the game. Like there's things that we could have done to win that game, and knowing that, it hurts.
Yeah,
but moving forward from that, it also leaves a bitter taste in our mouth. Moving forward to next season and things like that, because the year before this year we were 5-7 and we had that bitter taste, and I think it's easy to think, these guys are satisfied. They got 11 wins. This is where they want to be, but we still have that bitter taste in our mouth. We still think about the Kansas game. I think that's a game that I think about till today. Every single day, I could have changed the trajectory of our season. And so now that we can't do anything about it, we're moving forward. We're learning. We just remember it. And helps us to stay motivated to attack the winter workouts, to attack spring ball, attack fall camp coming up in 8 months or so. We still have a while, but it leaves a bitter taste in our mouth, and we want more. We want to win more, and we're not satisfied.
I mean, yeah, learn from those. I mean, in human existence, we're always going to have disappointments. Only was it the week before the Oklahoma State game when we came back kind of miraculously, So I love the progress that you guys are making. I'm embracing the love and learn principles that Kalani is teaching. And it almost feels like it's attractive to players that you're recruiting. You talked about having teammates that aren't LDS, but are gravitating to this philosophy. Expand on that. We have Muslim teammates. Is anyone offended when Coach Sitake or someone else has a prayer in the locker room, or Jake Retzlaff, is Jewish, and we talk about that quite a bit. Is there ever any trouble with a faith promoting thing? I mean, tell me, what are your feelings about that?
No, not at all. I mean, every day when we have meetings, we start off with a prayer.
Really?
And we just go kind of go down the row of where you say everyone says their prayer. And if like Jake, when Jake gets up and says his prayer, he says his Jewish prayer. And
Good.
when other people go up and say their prayers, they say their religious prayers. And so I think it's actually really cool being at a university where you can express your faith.
Amazing.
And it helps us bring up different conversations and talk about each other's beliefs.
Without
fear. And
yeah.
it's great. I think that's actually what has made me grow closer to some of my teammates is the faith differences and what we believe in, but being able to practice those beliefs in front of each other and kind of just, so what does this mean to you guys? What does this mean to us as members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? And it helps us to grow and to respect each other even more. And so
I love that, Raider. You went on a mission. Was that right after high school?
Yeah. So I graduated a semester early. I graduated in December, and then I left shortly after on my mission.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, I'm from Northern California, Sacramento, the Rancho Cordova area outside Sacramento. But San Francisco is a beautiful city.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you served your mission.
Mm-hmm. I served in a more so Oakland area, but I did serve in the San Mateo area as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were more in Oakland?
Yeah, more in the East Bay.
In the East Bay.
Yeah.
So Oakland and all those surrounding communities. Yep. Did you get into any of the richer, the Orindas and the...
I've drove past them.
Were they part of your mission?
They were. Those parts are...
But they put you in the tougher parts.
Yeah, so I was in Oakland, Hayward, Richmond, and then I was in San Mateo as well. So.
There were some football respecting and loving people in those areas.
Oh, yeah.
My roommate at BYU was a linebacker, Danny Frazier, African-American, black guy. Love him. Danny, if you know Danny Frazier, if you've ever met him, he'll be your friend for life. Tall guy, 6'6", and he had a very unfortunate accident against Texas A&M. He broke his neck.
Oh wow!
And it was a hard one. I mean, it stopped his football experience, mm-hmm. but he was fine. He even played basketball at BYU and then at BYU Hawaii. But he went on a mission after he recovered from that, and he was in the Oakland, California mission, and he loved it. Do you know where Vi Sakema served? He might have been in that same mission.
I'm not sure where he served.
Right, but this is related again to Danny Frazier, because Vi was playing football at BYU. Danny was on his mission in Oakland. I don't know where Vi served, but Vi was impacted by a letter. The adult equipment manager for our team was Floyd Johnson, and Floyd was also one of the, call him the spiritual leader. He'd organize the who spoke at firesides and things. And long story short, Danny Frazier wrote him a letter from the Oakland, California mission. He said, "Floyd, the field is black, all ready to harvest." And Vi was there to when Floyd opened that letter, and he read it, and he said, "I knew right then that I needed to go on a mission." So tell me about your experience on your mission, because there in that Bay Area, you'll see so many different levels of faith and so many different kinds of faith. How did that impact your life?
My mission is something that I think about every single day, and it's definitely impacted my life for good. There were so many experiences that I've had, so many different people that I met where my testimony was strengthened, different people coming across different people that come from different faith backgrounds as well. It was really just an amazing experience to really go out and forget about yourself and just help other people. And so when I was doing that in Oakland and trying my best to do that, I really found who I was and what I wanted for my life. And yeah, there were just so many great people that I met. I was serving Tongan speaking, so I was serving amongst the Tongan people that live in the Bay Area, and I served in the 2 stakes over there.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, I met so much people that forged relationships that I'll have for the rest of my life. Yeah, it's just all around such a blessing to be able to have served the mission over there in Oakland.
I love that. But when you ran into people that really, you know how the world is. I mean, sometimes they're thinking you're there to browbeat them, to talk about, to call them to repent. Sometimes people get angry.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, how did you deal with that? You're a football player. If someone's getting angry at you on the street in the East Bay, how'd you take that?
I think that's something that I had to kind of learn a little bit, because coming straight from high school, if people talk to you a certain way, it's like, I'm not going to take that. But when you go on your, there was definitely a lot of experiences where I was like, I really had to be tested. And there was actually a time where I was walking down with my companion. We were proselyting on the street, because at the time we couldn't knock on doors. We had to just go street finding. And we walked past a bar or a liquor store or something. And the owner of the liquor store grabbed the Book of Mormon and threw it straight at us.
No.
And I was so angry at that moment. But it was cool because someone else saw that, a totally different guy who fits the Oakland mold, like a pretty, scary looking dude.
Right.
And he looks at it, he's like, "Yo, all right? You guys good?" And we're like, "Yeah, we're good." He's like, "All right, let me know if you guys need anything." I saw that. And so I think that was something that was really cool about serving in Oakland is, as a missionary, I felt safe 100% of the time. I know there's a lot of things that go on in Oakland, and it's kind of a scary place.
Can be
a scary place. But as a missionary, everyone takes care of you. They know that you're out doing the good work, preaching the word of God, helping other people. And so no matter what background they came from, I felt like they always were watching over us. But it was testing at times when people would talk to you and get in your face and stuff, and you just have to turn the cheek.
Sometimes you need that companion to hold you back, at least spiritually, you know? Raider, I have a question for you, because I'm from a different era. In fact, your father's from a different era, so he might tease you. Your relationship with your father, Jack, played in the 1990s. He was a safety for BYU. Does he contrast some of your experiences with his?
Yeah, he likes it's like a competitive relationship with me and my dad. It's like a funny relationship, but he likes to compare us and, "Oh, I was faster than you." Oh, so it's funny back and forth stuff. And yeah.
What's your 40 time?
I actually haven't ran my 40.
Okay.
So
yeah, you usually run that in spring ball.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, we'll see if we test during this.
Were you, obviously as a defensive back, safety, you've got to have some good wheels. And that's critical in your progress. Tell me about your strength and conditioning program. How's that impacting you? Are you impressed with what BYU's helping you with?
Oh, yeah.
In the program here.
I truly believe we have the best strength staff in the country, and even comes down to nutrition and the people who handle our nutrition. I think we got the best of the best. And so it's definitely helped me since I've got home from my mission. When I got home from my mission, I was about 217, 218. I was looking big.
You're a linebacker. You're getting up into the linebacker.
I was almost going to be a linebacker.
You're going to be a weak side linebacker.
Yep. And the strength staff had a plan for me. Nutritionists had a plan for me. And I've just been following that. I've seen myself get faster, seen myself get stronger. So, and I'm at the weight that I want to be at. And so,
where are you?
I'm at like 200, 190, 199.
Oh, really?
Range, yeah. So,
okay. But you're built like I would say you're even a little bit heavier than that. But no, you're nice. And I was blessed my freshman year. Todd Christensen and I worked out a little bit together, and he was doing squats, 90-degree squats. And Todd was a really good sprinter. He could run. He was fast. And I could feel that the workouts that we were doing, and of course our program, Chuck Stiggins, and the strength and conditioning back then, I felt myself getting bigger, faster, stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Do you tell me about what kind of squats you do? Because I've always wondered on these, where you do the Olympic style squats where you go real deep. Do you guys do that, or are you more 90 degrees to protect your knees?
So actually something that I haven't said is I actually had back surgery
Really?
in the beginning of the season, so I don't really do the squatting part
of
the workout. But I know that I don't think they go all the way down to the ground. I think it's like a 90-degree.
It's just this preference of mine, but all over the country they do different.
Get low, yeah, they get low for sure.
Right.
I don't squat anymore.
I worry.
So
because of your back.
yeah.
Wow. And that was before the season.
That was right before the season. So
Who knew? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm saying, who knew that Raider, who played significantly at BYU, as a safety, actually had back surgery right before the season.
Yeah, right
Was it
before
lower
fall
back?
camp. Yeah, my right lower back. So I heard it during spring ball.
Soft tissue?
No, it was
bone?
I had 2 herniated discs.
Okay.
That was on my nerve. They were pressing on my nerve, so my leg was messed up too, and so I really needed to get it fixed.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Wow. Good for you making it back. So what do you do then for leg strength?
We have that's what's so cool about our strength staff and the resources that we have at BYU is we have other things that implement the same things and gets you to where you need to be, but in different ways. So now what I do is like a belt squat. It's a machine where I put a belt around my waist and I squat, but it doesn't put the pressure, all the load on my back. Yeah, so
Smart.
still getting stronger in my legs, but being smarter. And so I think that's something that's really cool about our strength staff is they're very cautious and aware of our needs as football players, and they try to do whatever they can do to get us stronger, but also to keep us healthy, keep us safe. And so
Sweet. Good stuff. Your defensive backs, I saw that one of the young men who you were with, who played some significant roles in the defensive backfield, Crew Wakely, entered the transfer portal. We as BYU fans love it when you guys hang out with us and stay with us. Any feelings about the transfer portal, about the unity of the group that you have here now? The pros and cons of the transfer portal. What are your feelings? We can always cut this out if you don't feel comfortable with this conversation, but I'm just curious.
yeah, no, I think it can be a really good resource, the transfer portal, and it's honestly a great opportunity for all college athletes. If they believe that they fit somewhere else and they want to go somewhere else, then that's on them and that's their decision. That's what I truly believe. The cons of it, I think, could be when you bring in people, like especially with BYU, it's such a different school. If you continue to bring in new people, or not say we love bringing in new people, but people who don't really understand the culture of your program, and that could go for anywhere. Then it could be a little bit difficult. But if you bring people who are the right culture, the right fit for your program, the transfer portal is great. And I think that you see that we benefited a lot from the transfer portal.
Man, I'm super excited.
Yep.
Because there was a young man playing for Utah that, I don't want to make our offensive line sound bad, but this guy did some destruction.
Oh yeah.
Against BYU this year, Keanu Tanuvasa.
Yep.
And he's coming to BYU.
Oh yeah.
Man, now I'm so excited. Do you know him?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
I actually knew Keanu prior to us playing football as well.
Really?
Yeah, he actually served in Provo, and he served in my home stake. And so when I was preparing for my mission, I was in the home MTC, and I would go out with Keanu and his companion, and we would go and I'd play basketball with them on P days, and then they would help me understand what a mission is and what we need to be doing. And so it's kind of a cool thing because he served on BYU's campus as well. And so
Say that again?
he was serving on BYU's campus. Like, he was one of the missionaries that was assigned on the campus.
Whoa.
And it's cool to see that he went to Utah and now he's coming back. Also, my family is close with Keanu's family. My dad is close
Where's
with
he
his
from?
dad.
What town?
He's from California, but his dad is from where my dad is from, in Hawaii.
Now, this might sound wrong, but what I really respected, and back in my day, Samoans and Tongans kind of sometimes stayed apart. The Polynesian guys were always so fun to be with, but you didn't cross these guys. If I'm a dude throwing a book at you in Oakland, I'm going to fear for my life because you guys, I mean, are known to be strong and powerful and in a good way. I heard so many cool stories about when the church was being attacked for certain political views in California, and people were going to march on the Los Angeles temple, and all these Polynesian dudes show up, and they were guarding the temple. Of their own volition, they wanted to do that. The Tongans that go out between the third and fourth quarter with their the fire sticks or whatever. Yep. I mean, you don't mess with the guys from, Vicek him is not as big as me, but I certainly don't want to fight him because he knocked out Jose Canseco. So where I'm getting at, Raider, is a guy like Keanu Tanuvasa, Keanu, coming onto our team. This is exciting. And the kid's a good kid.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, his reasons for coming to BYU are so positive. He's made a positive decision in his life. And I'm pumped so anyway, the transfer portal has pros and cons, but man, it's cool to get a kid like that.
Mm-hmm.
Hate to harp on this again, but the Kansas game, we look back and we should have won that game.
Yeah.
Had we won that game, highly likely that we would have been in the playoffs. And the way I view it, you guys could have gone pretty deep, if not even all the way.
Mm-hmm.
You had a great team, and have a great team. So not to want to fall back on the what ifs, but how do you feel? Does it matter that the national media, that sometimes the Big Ten and the SEC think that they're so much better than the rest of the college football world?
I don't think that's something that we really harp on or think about a lot.
Good.
Just because we knew that in that moment and this season we were in control of our own destiny. And so we lost ourselves the opportunity to go to the playoffs. But like if we just won out, and if we just won the championship game in our conference, or even just had one loss, we would have been in the championship. But we lost the games at the wrong time that we needed to win. And so I do believe though that our conference can hang with any conference in the country.
I do too.
And I do believe our team can hang with any team in the country. I truly believe that. And so I think to go on that's my thoughts and that's my feelings about that is if we were to line up and play against any team, we'd be able to compete. And at the end of the day, we were in control of our own destiny, and we lost the games that were the most important, and it was on us. And so I think focusing on that, knowing that we can be good and we can get to that, I know we can play in the playoffs. Having that in our minds is going to continue to push us to not want to lose ever again, and to keep pushing in the off season, pushing in practice.
I can't wait now until September, Raider. Yeah. You just pumped me up. And I'm serious. And I'm guilty of the same thing that some of the media did to Kalani. And I call him Kalani, Coach Sitake, but he likes being called Kalani too. I'm so impressed with his attitude because the media peppered him with things like, hey, do you think you could have been in the playoffs? Do you think you should have been? Were you overlooked? Da-da-da, looking for him to complain a little bit. You're saying the same things. And obviously, as a team, the players and the coaching staff, are unified in this attitude of, hey, this is on us.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to blame anybody. We're not going to cry. We're just going to try to get better.
Yep.
Man, you make me feel good. Before we finish, what are the feelings you'd like to share with our audience? You know, a lot of BYU fans, people that are looking for uplifting stories, how sports makes us better people, how it applies to life. What are some of your attitudes, feelings that you'd like to share with us?
Just always be a good person. And to Cougar Nation, be excited for next season. I think there's something that you have something to look forward to. We're working hard. Everyone's competing, and we're not only competing on the field, but we have so much other things that we're doing off the field that are good things. And I would just say, just continue to be a good person. And yeah.
On the Big 12, such a competitive conference, and top to bottom. You know, I'd look at the Big 10 or even the SEC, and some of the bottom feeders in those conferences were not as good as the bottom teams that the Big 12 has. So maybe we don't have the glittery programs, you know, Texas and Alabama and Ohio State, but top to bottom, such a strong conference.
Oh yeah, every game you have to be on your A game.
You
no matter
do.
what. Yeah.
There's not one game, not one team that you're going to go up against that you don't have to be putting in that effort. Raider, I love your attitude. It's a reflection of your head coach and the whole coaching program. I love the unity that you as a team not just reflect to us, but obviously feel. So we're blessed as fans to be able to be part of a program that reflects the identity and the powers of Brigham Young University and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And it's most impactful to me that you as a team are inclusive. You know, so I don't care what religion, or if you're non-religious, you know, you guys are there to help each other. And I kind of sense that's your attitude to life.
Yep.
You're married.
I am.
How do you pronounce your wife's name?
Nasinu.
Nasinu? Nasinu.
Yep.
Where is she from?
She's from Lehigh.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's right around the corner from over here.
How long have you been married?
We've been married for 6 months now. Going to be 7 in February.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Again, I'm going backwards now. We're fighting out about you here after we've almost ended. But if you have anything else you'd like to share, or a fun story from the team, maybe even your back and the surgery that you had to go there.
Yeah, I think like talking about that, overcoming adversity in my life.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the moments in my life where I was really like, wow, man, like
it might be over.
Yeah, it might be over. Like, because I hurt my back to the point where I couldn't even walk or like stand up or do anything for a solid like week and a half until I had my surgery. And so during that moment, I remember I was in so much pain. I was just like, man, if I have to stop football right now, I'll stop, because I can't do this right now. And trusting God's plan for me. I knew that football was something that I always wanted to do in my life, but I didn't know at that time if that's what God wanted for me. And I just trusted the process. I went through the recovery process, and the surgery really helped. And I just continued to trust in the coaches, and I've seen improvements. And so being able to even suit up for the first game of the season this year was something that was such a blessing to me. And I didn't play that game at all. But as the season went on, I continued to trust, continue to work hard every day. And my back was getting better. I felt almost 100%. And that's something when I was playing and starting my first game, it was against Arizona State. It was something where I looked back and I was like, wow, like it's truly a blessing to be in the position that I am today. Thinking that just maybe 5 or 6 months back, I didn't know if I was going to play football again, just because of my back surgery and how much pain it caused me. And I think that's something that I'm truly grateful for, that moment of when I got hurt and where I was really tested and I had to persevere through things, because motivated me to be even better, and it's continuing to motivate me today.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Are you fully recovered?
I am. So I'm
Sweet.
fully recovered now.
That
Look at
Arizona
that.
State game was big.
Yeah, it was.
And my heavens, talk about exciting comebacks. We were this close to beating that team. And I hope you guys lay it to them next year.
Oh, yeah. I don't even think we play them next year, though, but I hope we see them.
Oh, it's the year after that they come
that's
here.
wish we did, but
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a cool rivalry.
I hope you meet them in the conference championship game. Oh, baby.
Yep.
Raider, you and your team are inspirational. Thank you for what you're doing, and go Cougs, especially
Cougs,
this
always,
year.
always.
Sweet. Thank you for watching another episode of Beyond the Game. Remember to click here to subscribe and click here to watch our recent videos. Also, please follow us on social media, and remember, go Cougs.